Hello and welcome back to my garden, and the 26th instalment of A Year Gardening, following my exploits in the garden through the year of 2020. On today's show we're going to be doing some work to the front garden path, and that's going to be building a theme which the garden is going to be taking on over the next year. And it's going to be about grass pathways, and I'll explain all to you about the back garden and the main garden with some diagrams and some drawings later on of how this is actually going to develop. We're going to be doing some general tidying up and maintenance, because this time of year is all about the preparation and getting things through for next year. And I'm going to be finishing off the garden stream finally, if the weather stays with me. So lots of things to do, but we're going to start with the front pathway, which is a bit of a tarmac mess at the moment, and we're going to be improving that. Well, this section of the front path is really letting the side down. It's very uneven, it's very messy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark off at the front. I've just put this piece of wood up there and I'll use it as a straight edge. Mark off a straight line, and I'm going to chisel out an area around about 3 inches wide. Then I'm going to bed that piece of wood into the ground. I'm going to do the same at this end with another piece of wood, bed that into the ground, and then I'm going to lay some artificial grass over the top, which will give us a grass pathway coming into the house. And what I will also be doing is I'll just be breaking up some of this to level it down underneath. So I'm going to crack on with that now. So what I've now done, I've just cut the piece of timber and I've put that in with some sharp sand and cement, and we'll just let that go off. And then I've just got to do a little bit of levelling just to the left hand side of the path here, and then I'm going to put a piece of wood into the ground at the far end by the concrete, and then I'll be ready to put the artificial grass over the top. Well, I've just finished levelling, closing down of this, and I've put the adhesive underneath. So now the front path. Well, that's the first section of the front garden path completed. So it's just nice and level and smooth to walk on now, and then there'll be another piece of plastic turf running from here through the gate at a later stage. So all looking quite good. I think it's time that I got on with another little job now. Well, I've been doing a little bit of design work now and changing how things are going to be looking for the garden going forward. So the existing areas that we've got here, so we've got the memory garden here and the fruits border down the side, but at the moment all of this area here is grass, and that's where the Alomantia tree is in the centre. So the shaded area is going to remain as grass. It's just going to be a grass path with a seating area over the side here. Then we're going to have a shrub border bordering the patio here. We're going to be planting a nice rowan tree with shrubs and perennials around there in front of the memory garden. And we're going to have a summer perennial and annual border around the Amelanchier tree. We've got the rose border down the bottom here, and then we're going to have meadow grass along the bottom this side of the bridge, and then the stream running through the middle. And this will be our Helleborn woodland border, which is really taking shape now anyway. So we've got to sort out the exact planting for these borders here, and then we'll see how it progresses. Well, I wasn't going to actually start on this until next year. However, I've been given a rather large, well-established rhododendron shrub, and so I'm going to be planting that into the back of this border. So I need to actually make this border, dig in some nutrients, some drainage, get some I've got some old Christmas tree choppings, which is slightly more acid, which I can put in and dig into the ground, which the rhododendron will like. So I'm going to crack on making this larger border here, and then I'll see how much time I've got, whether I might start shaping another few bits of the garden before winter really sets in. But now I've got to get this shrub into the ground, so I've got a lot of work to do. Well, all I've done now is I've prepared the hole. Let's see if I can get that rhododendron in there and get it happy. Well, I've not finished digging the border yet, still a fair bit to go, but I wanted to get this into the ground as quickly as possible. It's now been out of the ground for about 3 hours, so it really needs to get in the ground. I'm now going to get the watering can, give it a very, very good drink, fill out any voids, so the water will take the soil down through any voids, and hopefully it's going to live to fight another day. So very, very fine plant, and I'm looking forward to the impact that's going to have in the garden over the coming years. Time to get that water. Well, welcome back to the pond area. Now, you may remember I started to build this frame a couple of months ago now, but I've now got the timber for the top here, and I've pre-cut some lengths for going along here, and my intention is that I will use one as a spacer, giving ourselves a nice just over ½ inch space. Pop the next one up nice and tight, get it level, and then just pop a couple of screws in to the fixing. So we'll just pop a couple in now. And another in this side here. It's very difficult with this dodgy thumb to try and hold a screw, but there we go. And that will be how it spaces all the way along, so I'll get on with that now. Well, that's this little boardwalk decking done beside the pond now. You'll notice also I've put in just a little protective board here just to stop any movement into the glass of the greenhouse, because I don't want that getting broken. But that's just pinned down, and the whole thing now is looking quite strong and stable, just enough for me to come along and do the pond maintenance that I'll be needing to do. All in all, quite pleased with this. Got to get it stained down, and I'll put this little fence up here as a little barrier for if we do have any little people round, we don't want them falling into the water. Time to get on with the next bit, which is going to be some cement work to finish off the stream while I've got the weather. Well, I've just finished the last bit of rendering sand and cement wise for the actual stream. That's all done now. So I'll let that go off a little bit, and then we're going to do the waterproof seal on it. But we're all the way top to bottom now, and quite pleasing it is as well. And then the pond is now looking quite pleasant. I'll just put some turfs in at the back for the animals to enter and exit the pool. I've had to leave just that little space at the end of the boardwalk there. That's where the electrics have got to come out of the pond and be fitted through into the greenhouse. So generally all taking shape very nicely, and hopefully I'll get the pipe in for the pump this week, and then we're going to be up and running. How lovely will that be? Well, welcome back to the greenhouse. What a great crop of tomatoes we've had this year, but it's clean up time now, so I've taken the plants out. I've collected the rest of the fruits. We've got our green tomatoes, some nice big ones as well. We're going to make some chutney with those, and we've got some nice red tomatoes as well, which we're going to be using over the next week or so. If you remember when I started these off, we hung these pots to give us a line, but now I can put the stones back onto the floor of the greenhouse, and if I've got my scissors here, which I haven't, so let's just pop this with my secateurs, which they really don't like doing, but there we go. I can get rid of this string from here, because it's time to give the greenhouse a really good clean. We have to make sure that we've got no bacteria and bugs and horrible things which are going to affect our plants over winter before I bring our overwintering plants inside. Now, I won't be growing tomatoes in here next year because I will have the new polytunnel up by then, which is nice, and so we'll be growing the tomatoes in the polytunnel next year, and I think we'll stick to doing cucumbers and things inside the greenhouse. Haven't quite made my mind up yet, but there's a lot of work that I've got to do in here, particularly with getting this nice and clean. And I'll probably put the pressure washer on the outside, but on the inside I'm going to use some anti-bac spray and then wash it down with soap and water. So I'll crack on with that. And also I think it's about time I popped round and summed up what we've done today and look forward to how things are going to go in the future. So let's go and do that now. Well, this brings me to the end of episode number 26, and I've got the turfs mostly around the pond here. This little area I'm keeping nice and clear because this is where I need to run the electrics from the pump through into the greenhouse, which has got this pipe here ready for the cables to come through, and we'll be feeding the water pipe underneath these logs here and then out through the garden. So everything is ready to go on that. Glad to say that I've got the stream building finished. There's still some titivation to do on the tops and tidying up around the top, and I've still got the wall to build properly once I've got the pipe work installed. However, the main body of the stream is completed, and I put the first coat of waterproofing and frostproofing over the top of the sand and cement, so I'm quite pleased to have got that done. Also, that front garden path, slightly different idea, but I think it's going to look nice. And the new rhododendron, now that's going to be a real feature plant in the garden, and I've decided I'm going to get my rowan tree. I'm going to buy bare root because it's a pretty good time of the year to place an order for bare root trees, and they're less expensive, so I'm going to buy one, maybe even two of those, and get those in the ground. I've also decided I'm going to get some more Canary Island palms and really put some height into the garden. It's going to be a plant garden. It's what I want. It's going to be a garden of plants with just that little bit of grass. I'm not one for spending my Sunday afternoons mowing a lawn, but I can sit around potting around with plants for a month of Sundays, so it's going to suit me down to the ground. So all in all, things are looking nice. Got to give this little baby a good old clean, and I'm looking forward to actually spending some time inside the greenhouse over the winter. I'm looking forward to getting the new polytunnel up, so the preparation for that's underway as well. So everything is really coming together very, very nicely. That just leaves me to leave you in my normal manner, and this week I have a rather nice bottle of Chateau Souverain Cabernet Sauvignon 2016, not even a new one. Well, let's pop that into here and just have a little taste it. You know, I only like a small glass of wine, but we'll see how this goes. Just have a little. Oh, smells bloody lovely. Oh yes, I'm going to enjoy this one. Just leaves me to say to you, stay well, stay safe, stay healthy, Enjoy your garden. Be kind to each other. Cheers.